Hello and welcome. I am Imran Siraj and I am teaching a subject Industrial Engineering of Mechanical 6M BTech. Uh, in the last few lectures, we were talking about wages and incentive plans given to the workers in lieu uh, in place of work they have performed for certain organizations. So we have discussed about the incentive plans, individual incentive plans, and group incentive plans. Then we were talking about time-based plans. We have discussed Halsey, Rowan, Emerson, and Wheelock's plans. Now we'll be discussing output-based plans. These are Taylor's differential piece rate and Merrick's multiple piece rate, then Gantt's task plan. So these all we have time-based plans we have discussed already. Now production-based incentive, we have three basic incentive plans for paying the workers uh, in place in lieu of the work they have performed. So Taylor's, Merrick's, and Gantt's will be discussing today. So these all we have discussed and advantages and disadvantages, and with examples, short examples, also how they are paid as per the plan. So this is we have taken examples of implementing all these four plans. Now we'll be talking about productivity based plans, that is output based plans, how much product they have delivered, because earlier we were discussing time based plans in which time was considered a primary factor, as well as their output and productivity, their efficiency was also considered, so they were paid in accordance their efficiency, as well as a minimum wage was guaranteed in time rate plans. So time rate plans are more prevalent and more beneficial as far as uh, workers' point of view is concerned, because they take a minimum amount home. And in case of output-based plan, they are not favorable for the average workers, because this plan does not guarantee any minimum wages that a worker can take. That would be depending upon how much productivity has given. So Taylor Francis Taylor W.D. Taylor was the basic in father was the father of industrial engineering. At the same time, he has given many scientific management systems, including plan wages. So he has also given Taylor's differential piece rate system. In this, the worker's efficiency is calculated and then he has paid accordingly. A lower rate for those workers who are not able to attain the standard output within the standard time, and a higher rate for those who are in position to produce the standard output within or less the standard time. So this is clearly not favorable for the average workers, because average worker, uh, this plan does not guarantee any minimum wages that they can take. So this solely depends on how much output they are giving. For example, if standard production is 8 hours, it is fixed at 10. Uh, for this Taylor's differential piece rate system, we'll be discussing. This one is standard time and standard uh, production. So this will be solving Taylor's differential piece rate system. So this will be solving with an example. If standard production hours are 8 hours, if the standard production time is 8 hours, and at least a minimum of 10 units are to be produced, then and piece rate is rupees 3 and higher piece rate is 3.5. So these are differential piece rate system. As the name suggests, this is basically based upon the type of productivity they are giving. So a worker may get 3 or 3.5 or in between. That would be depending upon how much efficiency is putting. So this one would be basically an output basis system. So this case will be solving this problem. We will be understanding the whole system with an example. So if the standard time is 8 hours and minimum units or minimum parts that he has to produce are 10, and the piece rate is 3 to 3.5. We are discussing that it has two rates, so the rates may be 3 or between 3 and 3.5. So how will we calculate? This is uh, according to Taylor's differential piece rate system. So if a worker produces 9 units rather than 10, his wages will be 9 into 3. 9 into 3. So this way he will be paid 27 bucks. In case of worker that produces 10 units, his case he'll be taking 10 into 3.5, that is 35 bucks. So we can see that according to productivity, two workers are paid different rates for the same work. One is producing 9 units, another is producing 10 units. So for the minimum, is since 10 units are to be produced in 8 hours and he produces 9 units, that means he is losing 1 unit, and the one who has produced 10 units is quite capable of producing 10 units and he is giving higher efficiency. So in case of lower efficiency, it would be paid 9 into 3, it would be taken as lower piece rate, whereas the worker who has produced 10 units will be paid will be paid higher wages and higher piece rate. So this is as simple as the productivity calculation, as simple as the efficiency calculation of the workers. So in this case, the worker who has produced 9 pieces will be taking 27, and in case the one who has produced 10 units will be taking 35. Similarly, this will be case for a person who has produced 8 units or 5 or 8 units or 7 units. Also, there are certain constrictions that for qualifying worker, one has to produce a minimum number of parts per day. So in this case, it could be 6 units, or 6 units is the minimum unit that has to be produced by a worker in 10 hours. If he produces less than 6 units, he will not be paid in accordance with this plan. So one has to produce at least 6 units. So for that, he will be paid 6 into 3, 18 bucks, 7 into 3, 21, then 8 into 3, 24, and 9 into 3, 27. And when he starts producing the fixed unit, 10 units or more than 10 units, he would be paid higher wages, higher rates than the uh, higher rates that is stipulated in the plan. So he'll be paid 10 into 3.5 or 11 into 3.5. This way the wages will be increased for a worker who has more productivity. So clearly this is not a minimum wage plan. So clearly not prevalent commonly. So the advantages are of this Taylor's differential piece rate system are provides incentive to the efficient worker. Clearly, it's clear from the examples that those who are performing below the belt, who are performing below the target, are not paid higher wages. So it is advantage for the efficient workers. Also advantage that inefficient worker is penalized. At the same time, those who are not performing well will not be paid higher wages, higher rates. This system is simple and easy to implement. The third advantage is, and disadvantages, minimum wage is not assured and there are chances that quality of work may suffer. Of course, when one tries to produce quantity, he may be compromising quality. So this way, disadvantage is that in the rat race, one may produce parts that are not up to quality standards. So the system is not liked by below average workers as they do not get any incentive. That is the disadvantage, and that's why it's not prevalent among the all wage payment systems. So it is used for extra active or extra performance. So this way, this is a critical plan that generally not implemented. Then another plan on that time-based system or on the productivity-based system is Marek's multiple piece rate plan. So in the Taylor's plan we have studied, we got to know that there are certain deficiencies, like the worker who is not working is not paid, who is not working as per the standards, he is paid less. So in this case, what we have done, yeah, what improvement they have done, rather than uh, basic basic and advanced, there are three piece rate systems. So one is for one is for the worker who is more efficient, and other for worker who are less productive and are slow. Workers producing less than 83% of the standard output are paid on the basic rate, and workers producing between 83 and 100% will be paid 110 of the basic piece rate. Those producing more than 100% of the output will be paid 120% of the basic piece rate. So this way, the deficiencies that we have calculated, or the deficiencies that we have seen in the Taylor's differential piece rate system, are eliminated, and workers are and poor performers are also considered for at least 83%. The workers who are performing below 83% are not considered, uh, are considered, and the workers who are performing between 83 and 100% are taken standard output, and those who are performing beyond 100%, they are given more than 100%. That is a higher rate system. So this is a Merrick's multiple piece plan, is one for the average workers, another for the higher workers, another for the high efficiency workers. So this way it has reduced the reduce the risk for non-performers, that they take little amount, at the same time they will be taking more amount, and this way the performers are compensated, are rewarded. At the same time, the low performers are also rewarded. They are not penalized for not producing good quality, for not producing good quantity. So this way, we can see that those producing more than 100% of the standard output will be paid 120% of the basic piece rate. So this is the best part and positive part, that the workers who are performing beyond 100, above 100, they are highly paid, and this is the Merrick's multiple piece plan that has eliminated the deficiencies that were introduced, that were the Taylor differential piece rate system. So these advantages are efficient workers are rewarded handsomely, and also there are minimum wages, guaranteed minimum wages. Disadvantages are there is wide gap in slabs of differential wage rates, over emphasis on high production rate. So at the same time, it could compromise with the quality also. So this could be a potential disadvantage of this system. And the third one is the Gantt's task and bonus plan. Gantt's task and bonus plan. It is basically a mix of time-based system and productivity-based system. It is a combination. This plan is based on careful study of a job. The main feature of this plan is it combines time rate, piece rate, and bonus. So the bonuses are in accordance with the combination of time rate system and piece rate system. The standard time is fixed for doing a particular job. Workers' actual performance compared with the standard time and his efficiency determined. This is all we have doing all along the way. The efficiency we are calculating, the standard times are fixed. So till now there is no new thing, except that we have calculated, except that we have combined these two plans, and these two plans will be generating more reward and more output for average worker. If a worker does not complete the job within standard time, he takes more time than the standard time, efficiency below 100%, he will not receive any bonus, but he is given wages for the time taken by him. So a worker has to produce either standard parts or uh, or he has to work for standard time. So like this has been solved by an example. If you see, If worker does not complete the job within standard time, for example, for within 8 hours, he is supposed to produce 10 parts. So a worker is supposed to produce 10 parts within 8 hours, because 8 hours is the standard time for producing 10 parts. So the worker who has produced 10 parts in 8 hours has a good efficiency and 100% efficiency. So this way he will be rewarded with the bonus. So bonus is 20% of the wages earned. So the worker who has performed well on time is rewarded. And now come to the worker who has not performed 100% efficiency or 7% efficiency. So he will not be given any bonus. So what he will be given? He will be given only wages for the time taken by him. So that would be depend upon how much time, how much rates are being paid to him. If 4 rupees 4 per 8 hours are given, 4 rupees per hour are given, so he will be taking 4 into 8, 32 rupees. Those who have not performed well but have worked, so if he has not completed, if not produced 10 parts within 8 hours, he will be given 4 into 8, 32 rupees. And if he have performed well, so apart from 32%, he will be paid more 20% of the 32%. So this way, he will be given 6.4, 32 plus 6.4, that is 38.40. That is 38 rupees. He will be taking 38 rupees, and those who have not performed will be given 32 rupees. So this is a combination of time and piece rate, and accordingly the bonuses are given. So if the worker completes the job within the standard time, efficiency more than 100%, wages are paid according to piece rate. Wages are paid according to piece rate. So this way we can also calculate. For example, we are 10 pieces, 4 rupees per piece, and perform if we make if a worker makes 10 pieces within stipulated time 8 hours, so he'll be paid 10 into 4, 40 rupees. Whereas for the 8 hours, he will be paid, the worker who is below 100%, he will be paid according to the hourly basis, according to work hours. So if he is paid 3 rupees, so 8 is a 24, and if he is paid 4, then 4 times the 40. So this could be the basic definition, or this could be the basic implementation of Gantt's task along with the bonus plan. So this is a combination of rates, time rates, and piece rates, and bonus is given according to the efficiency of the worker. What are the advantages? Minimum wages are guaranteed. It's simple to understand. Efficient worker can earn more. All these exercises are done to reward the efficient workers and to penalize the inefficient workers for below the performance. So this is a simple, and at the same time minimum wages are guaranteed and efficient workers are compensated for their good work. Disadvantage is emphasis on overspeed or high production rate. Again, the disadvantage is that they would be neglecting the quality, and because of high production rate, because of this rat race. So all these plans were discussed. Another type is group incentive plans. These we're discussing type 1, the individual incentive plans. Now we'll be discussing a brief about group incentive plans. So group incentive plans, as we know, group incentive plans are the plans that are basically given to a teamwork rather than an individual. So in this theme, the whole team, a whole bunch of people is considered as a single unit, and if they produce, the whole team is benefited. Otherwise, the whole team is not getting the rewards. So in this plan, workers are not considered individually but collectively. This system considers the productivity of workers as a whole. Bonus is paid in proportion to the excess of standard output per week. If in a year the output increases either above the standard output or the output of the previous year, the wages are increased in the same ratio. Priest, Priest Man's plan, number one. Number two is Scan Loans plan. Priest Man plans and Scan Loans plan are for group incentive plans, and this is the way the whole group is benefited and the whole group is rewarded. So we will be solving with an example. If in year 2009 the output per worker unit was 10 units, and in the year 2010 the output per worker unit comes out to be 12 units. That means the previous year the output per worker was was 10 units, and next year the output was increased 12 units. The wages will be 20% more than the 2009 than the previous year. The drawback of system is that individual efficiency is not considered. Only whole uh, team or whole bunch of people is considered to be producers rather than individual performers. So this way we compare the efficiency every year, and if the efficiency is increased, whole bunch or whole group is benefited. So this way these pre-spent plans work, and they are given incentives in whole of the group. Another scan launch plan is again a sharing plan that base bonus to employees when they improve their performance or productivity by a certain amount as measured against a previously established standard. In pre-spent plans, we don't have any standards, but we are paid in accordance with the previous year generation, or comparison with the last year, with the last financial year. But in this scan loans plan we have standard time, standard performance time, and the bonus is paid as per the standard time. And if we calculate, if a project is to be completed within 6 months and it is completed uh, less than 6 months, the whole of the team is benefited, and if it's not paid, they are not considered to be qualified for any bonus. So in scan loans plan, we have standard time, and we have eliminated the previous year comparison system in scan loans plan, and this way scan loan plans are more standardized and more stable in group incentive plans. So this was all about the wages and incentives that we have paid to the individual and groups. We have considered, we have understood all the time-based, output-based group incentives and individual incentive plans. Hope everything is clear to you. Still, if you are not able to get and grasp the basic components, or ambiguities are there, and certain doubts are there, so you may get in touch with me at my phone number, and my number is 9069360400. So for the time being I am signing off. Stay safe, stay home. Okay, bye.